Hello everyone and welcome back to another Stormworks video. In this video we're going to be covering an announcement as of today here in Stormworks. Now in this announcement the devs have said they are going to be working on improving the missions in Stormworks. As many of you know, I have been speaking about the missions in Stormworks for quite a while and kind of been a little bit disappointed about them and also wanted to have the old missions back here in game. Now the devs said they are going to be adding these new missions on and they also are going to be improving them. Along with that, there are going to be a few more improvements here and there. Now, the first thing the devs are going to be speaking about is going to be the add-on script quality and performance. Currently at the moment, we have add-ons in-game, whether they're official or they're not official, and they're made by creators like myself and other people. However, the devs have said they are going to be working on the official ones and they're going to be hopefully improving the quality of them. What does that mean for you? Well, that means that these missions hopefully will load a little bit quicker, they'll run a little bit more smoothly, and also it'll be easier to actually clean up existing missions. Along with that, they will be adding a new feature where you can type in certain commands into the chat where you can actually spawn missions in. Just like we used to have with the old pre-version 1 and where you used to open up a menu, choose a mission, and it would literally just spawn in. So adding something very similar to that where we can just go and chat, say, hey, we want a fire mission, and we'll go and spawn that in. So this is something I think is really cool, and I think that's something that's been missing, especially in creative mode when players are building their vehicles specifically for missions and they want to test it. They would have to wait for a mission to eventually load, or they would have to make their own mission. So having just a quick function where they can type something in and getting a mission in is going to be very useful for creative mode here in Stormworks. Along with that, the devs are actually working on a few other things. They are going to be adding in something that we discussed during one of the Q&As, which is going to be survivors will sometimes spawn with strobe lights, so the man overboard beacons attached to them. That means when you're actually doing missions, it will be hopefully easier to spot these survivors in the water, especially at nighttime. It is really difficult, and you guys have seen it when I've done some of the survival series, where we're trying to look for survivors, and it's really hard, especially if you've got a lot of waves. They can travel quite far, and also they can be very hard to spot. So having this little man overboard beacons or lights on them, very useful. Along with that, missions will no longer despawn halfway through. So for example, what used to happen is when you were going over to a mission, if the timer ran out and you just got there, the mission would just despawn. Or if you were halfway through rescuing people back to a hospital and the timer ran out, everything would just despawn and you would fail the mission. So the devs are going to work on that and make it so that they don't despawn. So if you're halfway through a mission or you're just starting a mission, it won't actually despawn. So that's a nice little quality of life improvement, I think. Along with that, they are going to also be scaling up the difficulty of the missions and also the rewards of the missions. So you might see that some missions might be a little bit harder in terms of maybe time constraints or locations. And however, with that, depending if you are able to do it or if you're able to rescue all the survivors with full health, for example, you might be rewarded a little bit more in comparison to what you were before. So just some quality of life improvements really when it comes to the current missions that we have with scripting. Along with that, building fires. Building fires is going to be a new thing. Now we've currently got like vehicle fires that happens in game where it's like, oh, we'll travel to this location and put the fire out on this boat or car, so on and so forth. They said they are going to be adding fires onto buildings. So this could be, for example, like at the creative base, at the hangar, all of a sudden there might be a fire in the back of the hangar and you need to rush over there and put it out. So I think this is pretty cool. I think this adds a whole new level, especially for the players that are looking to do more firefighting missions, whether it be land-based or sea-based. I think this is a cool little mission that could work quite well. Along with that, I'd like to see how fire is actually going to spread on buildings, especially the current ones. I know they work with vehicles because vehicles are built with blocks, but the current buildings are just physical. They're not actually created with blocks. So it'll be interesting to see how the fire spreads on them. Along with that, they are going to be adding some support vehicles, specifically AI support vehicles. So one they're going to be doing is an aerial refueler that is going to be patrolling the skies. So you guys have already seen it. I've gone and created the AI refueling service in-game in Stormworks. The dev said obviously they are going to be doing something very similar to that, where a aerial fueler is going to be patrolling skies, and if you can intercept it, then you can obviously take some fuel from it. So I'm guessing it's going to be a icon on the map, and hopefully we'll be able to see that, and then we can fly over to that direction, intercept it, get some fuel from it, and carry along our way, whether we're flying a jet or a plane or whatever it needs to be. Along with that, they are also going to be adding a new AI hospital ship. This is something really cool. I think is a really great idea. Having a hospital ship that literally moves around the entire world of Stormworks. It's meaning that if you travel quite far out and you need to rescue people and they need to be delivered to a hospital, that you have the opportunity to actually take them to this ship that is currently moving around the world. I think it's a really cool functionality. The devs also said they're going to put some rope connectors alongside this so you can moor your boats up against it, and there'll also be a helicopter pad on top of it, or on the side or at the back, I'm not too sure. So you can land your helicopters on that, rescue your people to the hospital, and then carry along your way. I'm also hoping that there might be some beds on there, maybe some refueling, some recharging, maybe some supplies like meds, I don't know what else, maybe some like flare guns, medical equipment, things like that, so you can restock. Maybe if you do restock, maybe you will get charged for it. There's so much you can actually develop onto that kind of platform, which I think is really cool. But I just hope the devs, do a proper job of it, and they, go into all these cool functionalities, because then, the hospital ship might be a really cool thing that you want to visit, not just to drop off people, but maybe for yourself in career mode. You're like, oh, I'm really far from base, I need to restock. You can just head over to the hospital ship. So I think that's a really cool feature. I want to see them go into detail with that. I don't know. You guys let me know your comments on the hospital ship and that kind of AI-based location that's moving around the world. I think it's really cool. Along with that, we're getting new missions. Not only the AI, not only building fires and all the quality of life, but we're going to get brand new missions. With that, they're kind of thinking about it and working through a bunch of different ideas that they've decided on and also are still working on and up in the air, I guess. But these missions pretty much are a whole bunch of different types of things. So the first thing they're talking about is they're thinking of having the mission where you need to manage a set list of buoys around the world. So your job would be pretty much to go and install these buoys, and these would be like research ones for the ocean, and you need to obviously install them, you need to perform maintenance on them, for example, you need to maybe remove them or repair them. So that's another really cool mission idea. I think it's great, and a lot of players are interested in that type of things. Along with that, they're also thinking of doing underwater operations where you might have to salvage anchors. So something like we used to have in the missions before version 1. Or maybe you need to go look for missing persons, and there's all these different types of missions that they're discussing about delivering fuel, retrieving animals or objects, nuclear emergencies. So they said the list is evolving. They've got these things currently worked on at the moment, and they're looking for more feedback. So definitely head over to the announcement, let the devs know what your feedback is. Obviously, drop some comments in the video below also, and let me know what you guys think would be cool. Along with that is, they did say that obviously all of this new stuff is going to be coming over the next month or 2 or 3, until obviously we get our next major update, which will hopefully be the weapons DLC. But yeah, it's going to be arriving over the next few months, and it's all going to be minor updates. So no major, no DLC, nothing like that. It's just going to be coming out. They usually do every 2 weeks is a minor update here in Stormworks. So expect to see this within the next couple of weeks coming out, hopefully. We should start seeing these small little improvements. Along with that is they also said they are going to be doing some more minor updates with new components and some other things. We obviously know from one of the Q&As that the devs said they are going to be adding new window components. So I'm really excited to hopefully get that in one of the minor updates coming out very soon. And I guess we'll have to wait and see what else they are going to be adding on. Maybe we might getting some more new Steam components. I'm not too sure, but that's something I think a lot of people have been requesting since the major update with the Steam and Nuclear. So we will, I guess, just have to wait and see what happens, won't we? So guys, that's pretty much about it for this week's little announcement about the career improvements here in Stormworks. I'm looking forward to it. I'd love to hear your guys' comments on below. Obviously, there are some other things that we would like the devs to fix, but obviously always a good sign to see they are proactively going through some of these things and improving them which is really nice to hear. Guys, if you have enjoyed the video, smash that like button. If you don't want to miss any of my future content, make sure you hit that subscribe and also that little bell icon to be notified as soon as my videos get released. And until next week, we will see you then.